I'll be waiting, and I'm sure this energy, so I can give you all of me. All of me. It's been 11 days and 11 nights, and I've been thinking about you constantly and all the time. Maybe I even go down on my knees just to get to where you are and make you mine. I don't wanna rush it. Yeah. I just want you to trust it. We'll be fine. Give it time. There's no pressure. I'll be waiting, and I'm jealous energy, so I can give you all of me. All of me. It's been a long day, babe, I go a long way. Don't ever worry if you got me, 'cause you got me. All of the wrongs you've had, I wanna make it right. Just one choice, I won't fight. If it doesn't fit, it's alright. It ain't my time. There's no pressure. I'll be waiting, and I'm jealous energy, so I can give you all of me.
That's fine. I'ma make a movie out these niggas one time. Don't you worry about the time it took. Just know that the bullets in the magazine enough to paint a comic book. Niggas all kinda shook. Round here, niggas bear enough arms and get compared to an octopus. Check out the pages in my comic book. Cannons get hand drawn. Ain't nothing sketchy when you plot the jokes. A burning flame in this comic book. Everything could change. I turn the page in this comic. Hey yo, my city riding. In a day of flower blossom when the sun fades. Every night it turn to Gotham, Batman and Robin. Not the heroes, but it happens when the op gets spotted. They whoop your ass and pat your pockets. Marvelous, everything real. Bitch, I never lied. Magneto lifting my arms to let the metal fly. All black Nina, call it black woman scorn. But it rain on you niggas, don't get caught up in the storm. Don't you worry about the time it took. Just know that the bullets in the magazine enough to paint a comic book. Niggas all kinda shook. Round here, niggas bear enough arms and get compared to an octopus. Check out the pages in my comic book. Cannons get hand drawn. Ain't nothing sketchy when you plot the jokes. A burning flame in this comic book. Everything could change. I turn the page in this comic book. I'm not Peter Parker, so why do niggas think I hang with them? When every time they around, my spidey sense tingling. Bodies on nice for trying to be dead cool. Bodies in the water, that's how you make a dead pool. I bring carnage to these niggas, be an idiot. Dressed in all black, kinda looking like the symbiote. No matter if these niggas hating on me, I will never be a character erased from the story. Don't you worry about the time it took. Just know that the bullets in the magazine enough to paint a comic book. Niggas all kinda shook. Round here, niggas bear enough arms and get compared to an octopus. Check out the pages in my comic book. Cannons get hand drawn. Ain't nothing sketchy when you plot the jokes. A burning flame in this comic book. Everything could change. I turn the page in this comic book.
Welcome to the Daily Show. No, I'm only kidding. Listen, we got to talk about this. We got to keep abreast of this. We got, knowledge is power. And we here now, y'all. We here. FAFO. The following information that I am about to give you is from Politico. So let's run our copyright disclaimer since I'm about to share this information with you, all right? All right. So we here now, y'all. We here. We here.
Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowances made for fair use for purpose such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips in the balance of the favor of fair use.
We here now, y'all. So is this Project 2025 and what's happening now since the dude took office? Is it overstated or not? Let me give you day one's running list of planned executive orders, the actions and the proclamations and legislation of what he signed on day one. As you know, it's unclear if these are going to have immediate impact or they're just merely symbolic. But with him promising a golden age of America, in his second term, he's issuing a raft of executive orders to try and make it happen. He signed a slew of orders and directives that aim to end birthright citizenship, crack down on illegal crossings at the southern border, increase domestic energy production, and transform a federal government he views as both too bloated and too woke. It's unclear which of these executive actions will have immediate impact or are merely symbolic, but they're already facing challenges. The Elon Musk-led Department of Government Efficiency drew lawsuit hours before Trump signed the paperwork to create it. Some of his more controversial orders, including the one targeting birthright citizenship, also immediately hit legal challenges. And while he pledged in his inaugural address to create an external revenue service to collect tariffs and revenues from foreign nations, he'll need congressional approval to create the new agency. Here's a look at what he signed on day one and his executive actions since. January 6 pardons. He pardoned some 1,500 people who were involved in the January 6, 2021 riot at the United States Capitol, a sweeping grant of clemency that fulfilled a campaign trail promise. and upended years of the Justice Department's efforts. Immigration. Trump signed a slew of executive orders on Monday, aiming at delivering on his long-promised crackdown on illegal border crossings and immigration more broadly. He also declared a national emergency at the U.S.-Mexico border, deploying U.S. armed forces to the region. May I last? Let me say that one more time. Deploying the United States armed forces to the region. He intends to end birthright citizenship by issuing an executive action that would reinterpret the 14th Amendment that grants citizenship to all people born on domestic soil, a move that drew swift legal challenges, including from Democratic Attorney General. He also moved to resume the construction of the border wall and so-called catch and release, temporarily suspended refugee resettlement from certain countries for at least 4 months, restart the Remain in Mexico policy of his first term, restrict asylum using 212F of the Immigration and Nationality Act, designated drug cartels and gangs as foreign terrorist organizations, and invoked the Alien Enemies Act of 1798 to remove them, or as he put it in his inaugural address, eliminate the presence of all foreign gangs and criminal networks bringing devastating crime to the U.S. soil. Direct incoming Attorney General to seek capital punishment for the murder of law enforcement and capital crimes committed by undocumented immigrants. Energy. Trump wants to drill, baby, drill. He's going to do it by declaring a national energy emergency. That would give him the power to increase domestic energy production and undo many of the Biden administration's clean energy policies. The White House also announced that the United States will withdraw again from the Paris Climate Accord. Among Trump's other planned moves, issue a memorandum detailing a government-wide approach to bringing down inflation, according to the Trump team, and what his team has referred to as electric vehicle mandate, and leasing to massive wind farms that degrade our natural landscapes and fail to serve American energy consumers. Federal workforce. Want to work remote? Good luck. Trump signed executive orders last night focused on the federal workforce, including one order instructing that all United States government departments and agencies to require employees to return to office, ending any remote accommodations. Trump also announced a hiring freeze across the executive branch except in essential areas. The president also removed job protections for tens of thousands of government workers, which the White House said was necessary to rein in what Trump describes as deep state bureaucracy. Among Trump's other planned moves and radical and wasteful diversity training programs, as well as environmental justice programs, equity related grants, and equity initiatives. Freeze hiring except in essential areas to end the onslaught of useless and overpaid DEI activists buried into the federal workforce, according to the White House. Freeze the issuing of new regulations. Direct agencies to address the cost of living crisis. Restore freedom of speech and preventing government censorship. Create the Department of Government Efficiency. Health. Trump said in his speech, the White House will instruct the State Department and the Department of Homeland Security, as well as other agencies, to remove non-binary or other options from federal documents, including passports and visas, according to an incoming administration official. It will officially be the policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female. He also signed an executive order removing the United States from the World Health Organization. Among Trump's other planned moves, to reinstate military members who were penalized for not getting vaccinated against COVID-19. Trade. Trump hasn't enacted new tariffs yet. Instead, he issued an order on Monday directing federal agencies to investigate and address trade deficits and unfair trade and currency practices. Among Trump's other planned moves, impose 25% tariffs on Mexico and Canada on February 1st, despite pledging to enact these broad tariffs on day one. Establish the External Revenue Service, aiming to collect tariffs and other revenues from foreign nations. The rest. Extend the deadline for TikTok to be divested or banned, a move that has questionable legality. Suspend U.S. foreign assistance program for 90 days pending a review of whether they align with his agenda. Rename the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. He'll also return Mount Denali in Alaska to name Mount McKinley, reversing an Obama-era change. The NAACP, Project 2025, threatens to reverse decades of progress and harm Black and marginalized communities. We deserve and we fight for a better future. The fight against Project 2025. The Project 2025 is a manifesto that seeks to undermine our progress, dismantle democracy, and take us back to a time when we did not have a vote or a voice. The comprehensive policy agenda, proposed by a coalition of over 100 conservative organizations, drastically reshapes federal government, particularly impacting Black and marginalized communities. The proposed policies under Project 2025 include significant rollbacks in regulatory protection, reductions in social welfare programs, the dismantling of the federal civil service workforce, and ban any focus on equity. We denounce Project 2025 and put forward our 2025, a collection of policies aimed to benefit Black Americans and the entire nation. Our 2025 is marked by higher wages, investment in our schools, pathways to progress within our criminal justice system, and so much more. We must fight, we must advocate, we must vote to ensure that Project 2025 does not become our reality. The impact of Project 2025 on your civil rights. It threatens civil rights gains with plans to dismantle affirmative action, weaken anti-discrimination laws, reduce the enforcement powers of the EEOC, which is the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, threatening to reverse gains made in employment equity and equal opportunity. On your health. When it comes to health care, Project 2025 proposes to repeal the Affordable Care Act, reduce Medicaid funding, and eliminate programs aimed at addressing health disparities, which would lead to reduced access to healthcare services and worsening health outcomes for African Americans. On economic justice, Project 2025 seeks to dismantle the Department of Commerce's progress towards equitable economic growth, continue to cut resources in government programs, reverse labor market gains, making it harder for Black communities to gain economic mobility. On education. When it comes to education, Project 2025 seeks to defund public education in favor of private and charter schools, eliminate diversity and inclusion programs, and roll back protections for students of color, undermining educational opportunities and exacerbating racial disparities in economic achievement. Academic achievement. On your environment. The environmental impacts of Project 2025 would include the rollback of many key environmental protections, reduction of enforcement of environmental regulations, and the priority of industrial and corporate interests over community health, disproportionately affecting low income and minority communities that are already burdened with environmental hazards and pollution. On criminal justice, Project 2025 includes measures to increase policing and incarceration, reduce funding for community-based alternatives, and eliminate initiatives aimed at addressing systemic racism in the justice system, which would lead to higher incarceration rates and further entrench racial inequalities. Get the toolkit. The NAACP is addressing Project 2025 which is a policy proposal that seeks to undermine our progress, dismantle democracy, and take us back to a time when we did not have a vote or a voice. The toolkit outlines their tactics to fight against Project 2025. You will be able to find that information on the NAACP.org. Again, we here now. So here's the thing. You got to manage this post-election fear. We have felt empowered when reading his story because it was the chronicles of our people surviving an unthinkable predicament. Yet against all odds, they strive. Because of their fearless perseverance, we are here with the opportunities that we have. No, the system is not perfect. As a matter of fact, it's still broken. We are not in a post-racial society. The war for our equality is still in progress. With that being said, we must admit that after the election results, knowing the history that didn't feel good, it felt as though you had read what could happen to us, and we are not equipped. So many have stated that I am not my ancestors, not realizing that it takes more than access to guns and a willingness to use them to survive whatever might be ahead. At the same time, feeling that just logic, ethic, and philosophy from a system not created by us will be our weapon is a delusion. We must have the knowledge, the wisdom, the gut, the instinct, and calculate moment to make it through whatever is ahead of us. Patience alone is something that can prove to be a problem because too many of us don't have it. Too many of us are emotional to the degree that it can render us unable to function, and that is dangerous. Many of us are feeling a deep-seated fear that is justified, where some felt that we had some allies we found out in the election that passed, that all we have is each other. Though we have fought for the rights of others, our lives were not important enough for any group to truly align themselves with us for whatever reason. This is enough to cause an anxiety attack. But remember, this was also the position of our ancestors. Black women have spoken on behalf of themselves and the Black delegation that as people, we are checked out. We can't afford to center any other group, oneself. With that established and agreed with how to manage the fear and concern we feel is important. Here's a story that happened to a young lady. She went grocery shopping and noticed that an old white man with a MAGA hat on with a gun on his side in an open carry state, and she watched a young black woman lock eyes with her, and she froze. As this young lady was preparing to pass them, she heard him tell her she would be a cute item. Her eyes were wide as were mine. But before she could answer him, they started to walk away together, the two sisters. She was ready to go off, and rightfully so. But or this young lady, I should say, didn't believe she was paying attention to the weapon on his person. This young lady pulled the other young lady aside to calm her down and explained to her that her feelings were valid, but she also confirmed, excuse me, that she didn't notice the firearm. Because of that one simple reason, they bonded for a moment over the experience as well as how to manage the fear that this new world that we're embarking on has caused. They exchanged numbers since they lived in the same city. They decided that they will shop together so that they will feel a bit safer. How they decided to move will have to be more strategic, she said. And you can't tell me anything. Attitude. I'm here to tell you, just based on that it would be unwise to move about with your ears plugged, unaware of your surroundings. I'm not fear mongering. I'm giving you the honest truth. This has always been dangerous, but even more so now. It's important to know where your children are, your family members are, and some of this might seem a little overwhelming, but we truly do not know what is ahead of us. We could be about to meet the past through various parts of Project 2025 being implemented. Or it could upset white America so much that they actually fight back. Either way, we deal with the aftermath of whatever is chosen. Knowing history in this time is a great help. We don't need to reinvent the wheel in terms of surviving and thriving under directly hostile administration. Our ancestors left us a blueprint and unity is heavily involved. At some point, we're going to have to learn to love self fully and all of the one's blackness, and then love each other just the same. We have more access to information than those that came before us, and more access to finance. If we just simply work together, we can move the blueprint forward. We must look out for each other and all our people to look out for us. This also means dealing with those in our community that clearly do not understand the assignment. That could be difficult, but we can't act like they don't exist, nor should we trust them when they are thrown out by those they chose to align themselves with. Uncertain times are ahead. Managing your stress, your fear, your anxiety, and other spaces will be vital to surviving, so that we also enable our children to manage. Our ancestors survived and thrived, and so can we. Stay encouraged. Don't get too twisted. Pay attention to everything. Everything. You know what it is. This is one of those say less moments. You know what it is. And that's it, and that's all. I'm done. I'll be back with more information to help us understand where we're at and where we're going and what's happening. In summary, of course, because we here now. FA, FO, we try to tell you. Be well, stay safe. I say deep bow to each and every one of you, and I shall see you all soon.
Who they think they better than? Ain't no comparison to the so-called black or African American. You can drop the African, keep the American. When we say Aborigine, and make their world in. I'm going in the same dirt my ancestors buried in. I come from a god and a goddess, so what that make me? Not even Basquiat can trace me. Not even Van Gogh can paint me. The MC in me is the god of the sea. Equals the god in me. I'm focused and let my mind be free. You too blind to see. The jewels I give is real. It's been real. These ain't shots, they missiles. All you gonna hear is the whistle. Lyrically, this the execution. My verses start revolutions. From my people seeking restitution. Since the beginning, fuck evolution. Or maybe my reality is all a dream. I put it together like I was so it seems. So it seems. This is that audio dopamine. Go against the machine. We put you where nobody can hear you scream. And sing you to meet you Elohim. My nigga, this is savage mode. It's something that you hate to go. It started with a spark and I'ma let it explode. I was given the cheat codes that'll let me dump and reload. And go through them waves like a fucking torpedo. You dealt the cards of life. I just cut them diamonds with the ace of spades. Y'all scatter like roaches when they facing raid. Or vampires when they facing blade. I'm trying to get next to Shireen like I'm getting played. You still stuck as a mental slave. You still stuck in that mental cage. While I'm making easy money, pimping hoes in style. This my coming to age. Crowd roaring when I'm coming on stage. And when I'm done, they gon' be cheering my name. Great times, and nah, I ain't quit my day job. I spit bars. I really rap on my day off. That's real shit. Just give you some tools you can build with. Aim high, even if you still miss. Just keep going. It's a climb to the top, and I'ma keep flowing. Down Lake Shore, I'm Chicago going. Yeah. You niggas playing checkers, we playing chess. And nigga, this is checkmate. dog, and you just a little baby. You out of Africa, and we ain't got the same traits. I'm a Ghanaian, and we ain't got the same fate. My granny died February 18th, and I was born on the same date. The chosen one, the ancestors' chosen son. They gave me the golden gun. One shot, that's a hole in one. From the pyramid of the sun to Poverty Point. I don't think you niggas is getting the point. We still here. Who said they made the Aboriginals disappear? Your information's lagging in the rear. All you do is teach fear. We copper colored with woolly hair. Am I speaking clear? So fuck the nonsense. When I rap, I touch your consciousness. From within is where you get your self-confidence. Let's bring it back to dominance. Ain't no confining us. Gonna bring that wild Indian out of us. Yeah.